The purpose of this hearing is to take comments from the public concerning the proposed amendment of the authority's rules at Part 201 of Title 21, New York Code of Rules and Regulations, to increase tolls in order to provide sufficient revenues for authority purposes and to amend the authority's rules regarding toll collection and violations. The New York State Bridge Authority operates the Bear Mountain, Newburgh Beacon, Mid-Hudson, Kingston-Rhinecliff, and Rip Van Winkle bridges. The authority is funded from bridge tolls and receives no tax monies for bridge maintenance and operation. The authority also maintains the superstructure of the walkway over the Hudson. The authority's bonds are rated A, reducing bond and annual costs. The current $1.50 cash toll and $1.25 toll Easy Pass for passenger vehicles for eastbound passage on all authority bridges, last amended in 2011, that's 9 years ago, is among the lowest nationwide for self-supporting transportation agencies, and there is no toll for westbound passage. Tolls today are actually lower in real dollars than they were in 1933 when the authority began operations. The authority, together with its consulting engineers, has developed a capital program to maintain the existing facilities. The authority engaged its traffic consultants to project the revenue needed to cover the cost of the capital plan, together with operating expenses and debt service. In order to produce the revenues needed to adequately maintain those bridges, the authority has proposed a toll increase beginning May 1, 2020. The board of the New York State Bridge Authority adopted a resolution on December 19, 2019, authorizing the commencement of the rulemaking process for the proposed increase in tolls. The following documents are available for your review at the front table. These include the Notice of Proposed Rulemaking, which was published in the New York State Register on January 8, 2020, the Financial Disclosure Report prepared in accordance with the requirements of Section 2804 of the Public Authorities Law, and a letter from the EFPR Group, LLP, Certified Public Accountants, the Bridge Authority's independent auditor. These documents are also on file at the following libraries. That's the Adrian's in Poughkeepsie, Newburgh Free in Newburgh, Julia Butterfield in Cold Spring, Howland Public in Beacon, Kingston in Kingston, Hudson Area in Hudson, and the Catskill Public in Catskill. Anyone who desires to speak at this hearing should sign in at the registration sheet, which is located at the front table. Registrations will be taken until 7:30 this evening. A transcript of the comments taken at this hearing will be made a part of the record to be reviewed by the authority board in making its final decision whether or not to increase the tolls. Written statements may be submitted anytime during the course of the hearing and should be submitted to Chris Stieber right here. And now I will ask Chris Schall to read the notice of public hearing.
Good evening. Pursuant to Sections 528, Subdivision 8 and 2804 of the Public Authorities Law, the New York State Bridge Authority hereby gives notice of a public hearing, time and date, 7 o'clock p.m. on Monday, March 9th, place, Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel, Palm Court Room, lobby floor, 40 Civic Center Plaza, Poughkeepsie, New York. The purpose of the public hearing will be for the purpose of receiving public comments on the proposed amendments of the rules and regulations of the New York State Bridge Authority. Number one, amending Section 201.2 and 201.5 to provide for an increase in tolls. And number two, amending Section 201.1 and adding a new Section 201.7 and 201.8 regarding toll collection and violations. Written comments regarding the proposed rules may be submitted for receipt by 4 o'clock p.m. on March 16th, 2020 to the Bridge Authority contact designated below. Copies of the proposed rules are available on the authority's website at www.nisba.ny.gov. Copies of the proposed rules may be obtained from the New York State Bridge Authority, P.O. Box 1010, Highland, New York, 12528. A copy of the financial disclosure report of the authority, prepared in accordance with Section 2804 of the Public Authorities Law, is available for review at the Bridge Authority's headquarters and is available on the authority's website and has been placed on file at the following area libraries, the same list that Tara just read. The hearing has been scheduled at a location that is accessible to people with mobility impairment. Interpreter services will be made available to hearing impaired persons at no charge upon written request submitted within a reasonable time prior to the hearing. Requests must be addressed to the authority contact designated below. And for further information or to submit written comments, contact Brian Bushek, CFO and Treasurer, Mid-Hudson Bridge Toll Plaza, Route 4455, P.O. Box 1010, Highland, New York, 12528, 845-691-7245, B. Bushek at nysba.ny.gov. This notice was prepared and submitted by Brian Bushek on behalf of the New York State Bridge Authority.
Thank you, Chris. I will now entertain comments from the public. As your name is called, please come up to this podium right in front here, stating your name, giving the name of any agency or organization you represent. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Chris will be timing everybody with a timer, and we welcome the first speaker. Oh, hold on. We're going to get the list. This is about hearing from you. We will not be taking questions. We will simply be hearing your comments and recording them for our board of directors. Thank you, Chris. We'll first hear from Jeff Smith.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jeff Smith. I've worked for the New York State Bridge Authority for 20 years. Through the past, though I've not supported any type of toll raise, I now understand why the toll raise must be done. Since January, I've been doing a lot of research between a possible merger of the New York State Thruway and the Bridge Authority. In this research, I've learned a lot. I've learned that in 1935, the Rip Van Winkle Bridge opened with tolls that were 80 cents. With inflation, that's $14.92 now. Bear Mountain Bridge operated since 1940 by the Bridge Authority, and they were 50 cents each way. I learned that 2 bridges built in 1955, back when my grandparents were children, they were operated by the New York State Thruway and now are sitting in the bottom of 2 rivers. One killed 10 people and the other had 1,200 red flags. I've also learned that the Bridge Authority operates 7 bridges if you include the walkway. Those 7 bridges combined cost less than the new Mario Cuomo Bridge. In my 20 years, we went through handfuls of contracts. CSEA would always ask us what we wanted, and I have to admit, sometimes at the end of negotiations, I felt we deserved a bit more. What I have come to realize is that the Bridge Authority wasn't saying that we didn't deserve more. They were saying that the public, the toll players, actually deserved it more than we did. In the end, that meant they could keep tolls at a minimum and keep our bridges safer. Both CSEA and myself, I understand this now, and I couldn't agree more. The New York State Bridge Authority has been supporters of many fundraising campaigns ranging from suicide prevention to ALS. They teach us at the Bridge Authority to understand that the people of the Hudson Valley are our friends, our supporters, and our family. I appreciate the members present for this time and for treating the Hudson Valley fairly. I will support the small toll raise to ensure the safety of our bridges, but I refuse to support the merger that will destroy everything the Hudson Valley has worked so hard for so many years. Thank you.
Next, we have Constantine Zolius.
Good Irish name. My name is Constantine Gazolis of 47 Knoxon Street, Poughkeepsie, New York, for your edification, my brother was the first one to run across that bridge in 1933 when they cut it open. So I'm a native Poughkeepsian. First of all, I gave the young lady over there a comment from my elected official, Randy Johnson. He represents my district. Everything's incorporated into that thing. So I'll speak off the record for myself. First of all, I'll say this. Now, as I'm thinking of what to write, because I'm not a good writer. That's one reason I flunked out of school, like to know good English. But anyway, more important, as I think about the Rip Van Winkle Bridge, you know, there was this guy named Rip Van Winkle about maybe before our time, but I fast forward to today's date, I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, if Rip Van Winkle came back, he's going to look around and say, where the hell did all these people go? It's just like the coronavirus, too. They're all leaving the state of New York. So as far as I'm concerned, we're the working poor up here. I'm speaking from heart. We're the working poor. They need that bridge. You know, and we're not middle class anymore. Middle class is about $250,000 a year, to let you know where I'm coming from. You know, we're not middle class anymore. We're working class. And from what I gather, Cuomo, as far as I'm concerned, I'll say this publicly, if he got shot or got killed, I'd make sure that his coffin I'll be the last one to put that nail in that coffin, because this is no good for the working people. And I speak from the heart. I'll be 90 years old in a little while, but anyway, if I make it. But I'm going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever the hell it's called, you know. But anyway, I'm serious when I say this. You people here, I don't know how you're appointed, but think about the people in this area. Because this is the core area and it's starting to come around. Poughkeepsie's turning around. People are coming up from New York. And a lot of people commuting to New York. And my friend, by the way, he commutes to New York too. But I won't leave you with burden you with from my own personal thing without the written thing, but being that's going to go into I gave it to her, not to you. If she get it, if she gets it, you don't get it, right? But she gets it, all right? I want to make sure she gets it. Okay, but other than that, I'm serious when I say this. We can joke and kid, but when you're talking about the economic viability of the area, you can't increase these rates and give that. Oh, by the way, the thruway, we know what the thruway is. It's one of the worst 50 roads in the interstate system. So we don't need to give their money to a well, how can I say, to a sinking hole. So look, let's keep it the way it is, and let's keep it that way. And I speak from the heart. In the meantime, hey, I'm retired, but a lot of people coming up here, and they're going to need that bridge. So make sure you don't, feel them out, whatever you want to call it. I say I appreciate your time, but anyway, more important, thanks a lot, miss. What are you doing here?
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Carol Whitehead. Carl. I apologize, Carl. Carl Whitehead.
You and I go to the gym again.
Hi, Carl Whitehead, town of Poughkeepsie resident. Been here for over 40 years. Uses the bridges on occasion, but not a lot, but it's great to have them. I was worried when I saw first in the paper that the toll proposal was almost double, but seeing how the final proposals come out at only 10 cents raised per car or 25 cents per cash is good for Easy Pass versus cash. So and I know that just going over the Newbury Beacon Bridge, there's a definitely needed repair on the north span there. So I understand why you're trying to raise some additional money for that. So I'll support the additional toll raise. Wish Easy Pass would do more than 4 per car because I got teenagers and we have one account and that makes it a little difficult moving things back and forth. But and on the issue of the state thruway merger, I'd say keep it local here. I read Mark Molinaro's letter earlier and he said it well, put it well as far as keeping everything in-house. And know what happened with the Thruway Authority, in politics a few years ago, and he decided to give the Thruway the canal system and Route 84 as well, and then that, you never know what's going to come along. And now we have the Thruway trying to pay for the Tappan Zee Bridge, the new one. I haven't been over that new one myself, and can't remember having to go over the old one myself either since I'm on this side of the river if I have to go down the city. So, thanks for your work on the bridges up here, and hope it stays local.
Thank you, sir. Our fourth speaker is Anthony Adamo.
Hello, my name is Anthony Adamo. I am an Ulster County resident, and I am also the president of the Southern Region for CSEA. Reason I'm here today, this is a little different for CSEA. We are okay with this toll hike, and the reason being, the toll's going up 10 cents in the first year. We're talking a total of 40 cents over 4 years for a toll that we haven't raised since 2011. The reason I support, and my membership supports this toll raise, is this is a prime example of the sustainability the Bridge Authority has demonstrated, and another reason as to why a merger with the Thruway is not needed, not necessary, and it's potentially detrimental. This is the way we keep our bridges running. Okay? This little hike is a prime example of the Bridge Authority maintaining their own bridges, maintaining their own workforce without any help from the state. We're going to continue to do so. For us to continue to do so, we will support you, but we're going to ask that you support us. I want to commend the activism by Michael Bernaski and the entire workforce of the Bridge Authority. The activism I have seen from their research to them being by our side, shoulder to shoulder throughout to fight this merger has been amazing. I thank all of you for coming out tonight on a beautiful day, which we haven't had in quite some time. So the fact that you brought yourself away to be here in itself is very important. But again, 10 cents the first year, 40 cents over 4 years. I guarantee we're going to be looking at some drastic figures if we accept our friends from the Thruway. Thank you for letting me speak tonight, and I thank you all, and let's hope we continue to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is the end of my list. Is there anyone else present at this point who would like to speak? All right, we're going to wait at least until 7:30 for any latecomers. We already stated that we would take sign-ups and comments up and through 7:30. We have water over here for anybody who needs it, who's going to stay. And thank you. Good evening again, everyone. I'm going to make a last call for any further comments. Olive, has anybody else signed up? No? All right. In that case, there being none, I hereby close this hearing. As you all know, you can submit your written comments. We have an address available if you decide to do that post-meeting, or you can hand written comments to Chris or Olive. Thank you very much, and good night.